Hello, this video is for people who sort of know what they're doing with a bow, but not really. I've already made a video called How to Use a Bow Staff for Complete Beginners. So if you are a complete beginner, go and check that one out first. I give some basic tips on how to swing it forwards and some basic warm-up exercises. Now, for the bow, I did briefly mention in that one, there are two kind of reasons why people might want to use a bow staff. One is for martial arts, doing Kobudo, which might complement whether they do karate, kung fu, or whatever. Another one is purely for fun and to look good, and I'll be doing a little bit of that later on in this video. But start with is just a bog standard normal bow. Now, in the last video I made, I kind of show how to swing it round, but I don't really give any advice on what your arms should be doing so much. So you want to try and keep the elbows in. When you grip it, try gripping more of the little finger than the other fingers as well. It will just swing a bit nicer that way. Keep the elbows in, like that, so you're not kind of swaying all over the place. And also try and give the bow some direction, so it's not kind of swinging out here and then out here like that. That's like untidy and it's messy. Try and keep it compact and tight in, so that you're controlling the direction. Okay, so the bow will want to swing itself. If you follow the instructions from the first video I made, you'll see how to make the bow just want to swing. But what you want is for it to swing where you want to go, not where it wants to go, because you want to control it. Because after all, if you're learning this as a Kobudo martial art, you want to be in control. This is basically an extension of yourself. So if I'm punching like so, the bow is just an extension of that, and the bow will magnify your mistakes massively. So if like you're punching wobbly or whatever, quite a common mistake for karate punching is to do something like that. I'm exaggerating that obviously, but that will jar the elbow. If you try doing something like that with the bow, it really emphasizes the mistake and it goes all over the place and it just looks horrible. So if you go into long stance, if you're already doing karate or something, then this would be Zenkutsu Dachi. If you're doing another martial art, it might be something different. Basically just a nice long stable stance, which is solid. So your front leg is going to be your front arm, and just practice. You can do it with a little step maybe. Practice, and if your arm is wobbling, the bow will wobble and it will be magnified. I'm doing it to show you so you can see that it wobbles and it magnifies and it just looks ugly. So you've got to try and get that so it's straight. Although I'm a bit worried about watching this back on the playback, and I'll probably be like, but and also you're pushing forward to this one like a punch, but the backhand also is pushing forward. It's like almost like a double punch. So punch punch, but together. So this arm is pushing forwards and this arm is pulling it forwards, but it's together and then back. Together. You could, if you want, come back with a little block and then strike, come back with a little block, strike. And where you want to be striking depends on really what your objective is. I mean, do you want to be striking the face or the throat or the chest or whatever? Things like having it under there, that's not necessarily a good thing to have it under there, because it can whack your ribs. So try and control the arm. Change and strike the other way. Step through, strike, step back and change. Strike, step back and change. The step back I'm doing is a shuffle step. So I'm stepping all the way through and striking, then on the way back I'm shuffling, so I'm on the other leg. I'll just move the camera so you can see that. Right, so I'm going to step through and strike, then as I step back, like so. Now the bow's the other way around and I'm on the other leg. So I'm going to step through, strike, and I'm on the other leg, the other side. And of course Kabudo isn't all about striking, you've got blocks as well. What's quite important to remember when you're blocking is to come to the middle. This is a very basic rudimentary block. You can just do this standing. You can do this, you can practice this with a broom handle. Now a lot of people when they do this block, they do this. Now see if you can spot what's wrong with this. Again, I'm going to have to move the camera to show you. Okay, the top half is protecting me, but I'm getting no protection on my feet if I do it like that. So if I do a swap and a block, I need to be able to block my entire body. And this is good for attacks coming in from the side. Now, a really critical mistake that people make when they do this is they try and block with their hands. So say someone's coming, it's a bit hard for me to demonstrate on my own, but say someone's coming in with a bow or a weapon on, coming around the side, so I'm blocking to the side. What's tempting is, if you're used to doing stuff without a bow, is to maybe parry it or do a chudanuke or something, and you want to get your hand to where the weapon is. You don't want to do that with a bow, because if you've got another bow coming in and you're coming in like that, that's going to clobber your hand there and it's going to hurt. It's going to really, really hurt. So you don't want to do that. Basically, you've got to trust the bow is going to work. You've got to trust that your feet are protected, your body's protected, your head is protected, and you don't want to try and make contact with your hand, because believe me, it really hurts. And also when you're doing things like blocks and stuff, don't have your thumbs hanging out or your fingers or whatever. Some people will, you know, have strikes like this and stuff. You don't want that. You want everything in. You don't want a stray finger out, because it really hurts if you get clobbered. So just trust the bow. That's one of the biggest things I find with this technique, or any blocking technique. Maybe you're doing a blocking technique up, something's coming in from below, from above you, and you're blocking up like so. Again, you might be used to doing like an agayuke. You're used to getting the arm there, maybe moving out with the agayuke. With this one, you don't want your arm in the way. So if something's coming in, imagine there's something coming in straight from my face, the last thing I want to do is put my hand there. That's just going to make contact. I'm going to break my fingers. So you just got to trust that that's going to work. Maybe step back with it. You don't want to go so high that you're open, and you don't want to go so forwards that you're not protected. So it's a compromise between the two, and then you can do something else. What is really important, as I said in the first video, well, if I didn't, I should have done, is you've got your 2/3. 1, 2, 3. That is your bow. I mean, there are techniques where you might extend the bow out like that for extra reach. You can see there. And then bring it back in. As you can see there, so that gives me a little bit of extra reach. But generally you want the 2/3 to 2/3, or go in the middle for the swing. So basically, just remember, don't let your fingers out. Watch out for your elbows, especially if you're doing high attacks like that. What's important here, see my elbow is guarding there. If that bow slips and maybe it goes under, hits me in the arm, or maybe it goes over, someone could manipulate that, whack me in my face. That's going to really hurt. I'm speaking from every time I say something will hurt, I'm speaking from experience. So you want the elbow to block it. So if you're doing a high strike like so, you want your arm to elbow there as a stop, And so this is similar to just changing, which I mentioned in the first video I made, but this time I'm going to strike high and then round, strike again. So it's basically just staying above your head. I could maybe bring it down, strike low, strike low. It's exactly the same movement. Maybe I can mix it up. Strike high, strike low, strike low, strike high. It's the same movement over and over again. It's the same basic swap which I mentioned in the first video. But again, you've got to be able to control it. There's no point like striking over here somewhere. That's just wasted energy. And look how exposed and open my back and side is. So, you know, if someone was attacking me, they'd take full advantage of that. So you don't want to waste your energy. Plus this is exhausting doing huge movements like that. You just need to do what you need to do. Strike to the centre, that's good enough. Strike to the centre, that's enough. Strike down, it's good enough. Strike down, it's good enough. But I say strike, but these are also blocks. There's no reason why anything I'm doing can't be used as a block. So if someone's coming in for my leg, I could strike down or block down. Same movement. Again, if these blocks that I showed you earlier, going up or down, it's the same block. This could be into someone's face, a block or a strike. So it's the same either way. You've got to realise that every move you make could be a block, could be a strike. Now, the word block, I mean generally in karate, the word block is a kind of mistranslation. Chidanuke isn't really a block, and Ageuke isn't really a block. You're receiving the technique, so you want to deflect it away into a different direction so that you're not harmed. Whereas sometimes with a bow, if something's coming in, it quite often is just clash, bang, clash, hard, hard clash. So imagine that someone's coming into the side and I'm blocking. So it's not so much as elegant and smooth as maybe karate is, where you're receiving the technique and deflecting it. A lot of it is quite heavy clash clash. And there's no reason why once you've perfected that you can't go into more smoother stuff. So that's a few things to work on. So now I'm going to travel in a few hundred miles in that direction, which is approximately east, and I'll show you some more bow staff stuff, but this isn't for martial art or kabuto. This is purely just for having a good time and a bit of fun, so hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Okay, so straight away you can see that this is not me. This is a guy called Ollie, who I literally met just 10 minutes before recording this. He let me have a go on some of his bows, and the difference between his contact bows and my kabuto bow is his have like rubbery stuff around them, and I picked up quite a few others there, and they're quite grippy, whereas mine is smooth because I've sanded it down, and on my one I've given it extra sanding down in the middle to make the middle bit extra smooth, whereas on his one it was extra grippy with extra like rubbery stuff. I don't know what it is they use. So right away the difference there is completely the opposite. So this move here, he had me practicing this move just as a basic thing. As you can see, he's not holding it in his fist. When I do kabuto, I'm holding it in my fingers the whole time, holding it tight, keeping control. But when you're doing it like this just for show and for fun, you see the way you're doing it is completely different. It's like a completely different skill and a completely different discipline. So this is the same clip again, slowed down. The way he showed me to do it was to have my hand slightly off the center line, have my arm at about a 45-degree angle with my fingers pointing up, and he said to twist my hips around as I do it. Also, the way he had me doing it was to have my finger on it from my other hand just to stabilize it, and that's basically it. So I didn't actually record myself doing it because it's so different. I felt a bit amateurish, to be honest, doing it the way they're doing it. Give me a normal kabuto bow staff and I'm comfortable with it. but one of these, I mean, I did spin it a little bit, but as I say, I didn't actually record it. But that move that you saw there, with he was going backwards and forwards in his hand, that's what he had me doing. So I was doing that over and over again. And now basically that everyone's just showing off. So enjoy the rest of this video. It's just some people showing off. It's a little bit more advanced and I'm not really qualified to teach this. However, if this is the sort of thing you want to do, if you go and find a group, this particular group is in Egham, down in the southeast of England, and everyone there is like really friendly and everyone there is willing to like teach and show you things. So if you want to go along and learn, just ask somebody. There's loads of bow staffs and paraffin and stuff. They do ask for a donation for the paraffin, but as you can see, it's quite a different discipline to the kabudo that I do, partly because it's got fire, which is the most obvious thing. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the video.